Morning, everyone.
Hello.
So I'm Heng Wai, senior coach for Mrio Singh. So I'll just do a quick summary of what you all learned yesterday. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. Before I start, usually I like to ask one question. Just one question. How old do you think I look? 15. 15. Wow. Thank you. How old do I look? Anyone? 29. Wow, thank you. Any? 35. Wow, that's good. 60. Bro, the door is there. Please get out. Okay, I shall not tell you how old I am for you all to find out. Okay, so for yesterday, can you all share what you all learned for yesterday? Yesterday morning, maybe we start with morning first. Yesterday morning. What did you all learn? Sorry? The three secret. What's the three secret? Fraction theory. Very good. What's the second one? Wow. Very good. Momentum theory. What's the third one? Intervention theory. Wow, very good. So what else besides the three secrets? Anything else besides the three secrets? Money management. Okay, very good. What do you all learn in money management? Lot size. What's the formula? Risk times capital number of pips. What is the number of pips? The number of pips is from where to where? Entry price to stop loss. Very good. So that's the number of pips. And then number of pips multiply with pip value. Very good. Wow, Mario is very happy. You all remember everything. So lot size equals to risk times capital divided by number of pips times pip value. So can anyone tell me the risk? What's the maximum you can go? 1 to 3. Are you sure? 5% can or not? Yes. 5%? No. Okay. So 3% or less. Very good. So that's money management. What else do you all learn? So this is the formula. Sorry? Risk on, risk off. That's what waves is that? FX waves, yes. So you all learn risk on, risk off. So when risk on, what are the currencies will go up? Euro, Canada dollar, Aussie, New Zealand dollar, New Zealand dollar and pound. Very good. What about risk off? What other currency will go up? US dollar, Japanese yen, Swiss francs, Very good. So when risk on, what currency pair should you trade? When it's risk on, what should you do? You pair what against what? Very good. Euro USD or sterling yen or Aussie Swiss franc. So that's risk on. You trade. But do you buy or sell those pair? For example, running out. Okay, Euro USD. Just now I mentioned sterling yen and Aussie Swiss franc. Risk on, should you buy or sell these three pairs? Buy. So risk off? Sell. Very good. So everyone understand the fraction theory already. So that's the summary for yesterday. Anyone want to add some more things? No, that's the summary. Very good. So I believe you are ready for day 2, right? Are you ready? Yes, very good. So let's put your hands together and welcome Mrio Singh.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Let's give Heng Wai a big hand. Heng Wai is one of the rare few people who have taken over 1,000 pips in one trade. So if you want to learn to trade well, learn from him. Heng Wai is my senior coach in FX1. I'm very proud of him, what he has done. Today, because I am quite busy, because I travel a lot, today if I can't travel to other countries, people pay Heng Wai to speak also. So Heng Wai follows me. I travel in some countries. Today he travels in other countries. Are you feeling good today? Yes. Are you ready to learn some strategies to trade? Yes. Was yesterday a good day? Yes. Today will be even better. Okay? So stay with me. Today we will learn some of the factors that affect the Forex market. And then I'm going to teach you 2 strategies for you to learn to start trading. Okay? So let's start immediately. I am a trader that combines fundamentals and technicals. Both are important. Now, what is the meaning of fundamentals? Fundamentals meaning to say you understand the news. You know what is going on. This is one of my success factors, that you must understand the news. You need to know what is going on outside. Today, social media is so important that news travel faster on the internet compared to your newspaper. Do you agree? So if you were to spend some time to read websites like CNBC, like Bloomberg, or log on to my website, the news travels a lot faster than what you will read on your newspapers. Okay? So pay attention to some of the internet sites. What is fundamental analysis? Okay? It is basically the studying of the economic situation of some countries. Pay attention to countries like Singapore. Why Singapore? Because Singapore is one of Asia's safest countries. So sometimes a lot of money flows into Singapore. Right? In Asia, pay attention to Singapore. Roughly, you'll know what goes on in the region. In some of the developed worlds, obviously pay attention to the US, to Europe, okay, to Australia and Canada. There's only about 3-4 countries that you need to pay attention to. Okay? Fundamental analysis gives you information on how the big political and economical events influence the market. Right? Now, market sentiment is key. What is the meaning of market sentiment? You actually learned this yesterday already. Market sentiment, do you recall yesterday when I draw hope and greed on one side, and then I drew fear and panic? Do you remember? Yeah? So on hope and greed, which you just did with Heng Wai, hope and greed, there's 5 currencies that will move up, correct? Euro, Pound, Canadian dollar, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar. Remember these 5. In fear and panic, you will have your Japanese yen, your US dollar, and your Swiss franc that will move up. Correct? Out of these 5, the 3 more important ones are your Aussie, Kiwi, Canadian dollar. In fear and panic, the 2 more important ones are your US dollar and your Japanese yen. And then you do your own pairing up. Okay? There is no secret to what I do on CNBC. Whatever I say on CNBC is exactly what I'm teaching you now. So these are the exact theories. Okay? I'm going to talk to you now about the 5 factors. There's 5 important factors that move the currency market. Many of the questions yesterday you guys were asking me, Mario, what are some of the factors that make the Forex market move? Now let's talk about what these 5 factors are today. Number 1, the economy. The economy is so important, right? What makes money goes into a country? What makes money come out of a country? So let's talk a little bit about the economy. Inside the economy, pay attention to something called interest rates. Okay? Now let me share a little bit more about interest rates. This is a very important statement. When interest rates go up, your currency strengthens. Okay? So example, if you see a country that has interest rates of 2.5%, if they raise interest rates to 3%, the currency, now let's just say your currency is New Zealand, whatever, I'm just using an example, okay? The currency will strengthen. So do you buy or sell? You buy, but you've got to be very clear where is the currency. Example, if it's New Zealand 2.5 to 3%, then for the New Zealand dollar goes up, you click buy. If, for example, the currency is now the Canadian dollar, and they raise interest rates from 2.5% to 3%, but the currency that you trade is the USD CAD. Do you buy or sell? Very good. Because the Canadian dollar is on the right-hand side. The New Zealand dollar here is on the left-hand side. You need to be very clear where is the currency. Because in Forex, you are trading 2 currencies. Clear? Okay. So what is the reason the currency goes up when you increase interest rate? Many of you want to know the reason. Okay? So let me give you the one big reason. The one big reason is that when a central bank increases interest rates, more money flows into the country. Okay? Let's assume this is New Zealand. When they raise interest rates from 2.5 to 3%, a lot of hedge fund money will now flow into the country because they get a better return. Always remember, people are chasing high interest rates, right? Money is always chasing a higher return. So, if New Zealand Central Bank were to raise interest rates, money from Australia, Europe, Canada, everywhere starts flowing in. Now, when the money flows in, so let's assume this is USA. Money from USA, money from Europe, money from Australia, money from Canada. When money flows in, remember that, let's just say USA, right? USA currency is the US dollars. Europe is called the euro. When money goes into the country, they are buying New Zealand dollars. They are selling the euro and they are buying New Zealand dollars, right? That's how money goes in. Because in New Zealand, they only deal with New Zealand dollars. So when money goes in there and they are buying New Zealand dollars, demand exceeds supply, the currency goes up. Is that clear? Do you understand that? Okay, good. So it's very important for you to understand interest rates. Now, you and I are living in a time that many of the countries' interest rates are very low. Few years ago, I don't know if you guys recall, some of you who are trading the Forex market, okay? The New Zealand dollar used to be at 8.25%. Any of you remember this? About 3 or 4 years ago, the New Zealand dollar was 8.25%. Today, the New Zealand dollar is at 2.75%. Many of the governments around the world are cutting interest rates because all the economies are not doing well. So they cut interest rates to stimulate the economy. Later, when I move to the next slide, I will explain this more. But the main point I want to share with you now is that many countries in the next few years will be increasing interest rates. You must be there to trade it. 2 weeks ago, New Zealand raised interest rates from 2.5% to 2.75%. The Aussie dollar went up. I gave this trade call on the newspaper on Monday, 2 weeks ago. The New Zealand dollar went up. If you followed that trade call, you would have made money. Even if you missed that trade call, try not to miss the rest. Okay? Go to this website, Forex Factory. Have you heard of Forex Factory? Okay, good. It's a free website. Go to forexfactory.com. Okay? They will tell you when the countries will release the interest rates news. Don't miss it. Okay? Go to that website. You will know when the US dollar will talk about interest rate. When is Europe going to talk about it? New Zealand, Canada, Australia. Chances are there is so much room for them to increase up here. If you just pay attention to interest rates, you can make a lot of money. This is only New Zealand. Okay? What about Australia? What about Europe? What about the USA? What about Japan? All these countries' interest rates today are at the lowest. Today, the GBP, the pound, the interest rate is only at 0.5%. Few years ago, the interest rate was at 5%. So there is a lot of room for UK, the United Kingdom, to raise interest rates. Okay? And most of the time, when they raise interest rates, the currency will strengthen because money will flow. I'm giving you what's going to happen. Okay? So you have to be there. You want to make money? You have to be there when they are going to raise interest rates. So similarly, now that you understand when they raise interest rates, what if they cut interest rates? So what if a country today, let's call it Europe, right? Where if they were to cut interest rates from 1% to 0.25%, when you cut interest rate, the money from that country will now leave the country because the money is not earning a good return. Okay? So now money leaves the country. It goes back to wherever. It goes in search for other countries that have a higher interest rate. So when money leaves Europe, they are selling the euro and they are buying whatever currency. They are buying USD, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Singapore. So money leaves the country, they sell this currency, the currency drops. Easy to understand? Yeah? So in summary, interest rates go up. Now this is not 100% because nobody can predict what will happen in the currency market. Nobody can. Even I can't do it all the time. But based on my experience, when interest rates go up, there is a 80% chance the currency will go up. 80% chance is a good probability. Okay? When they drop interest rate, there's an 80% chance the currency falls. Let me show you an example. So on Bloomberg, Aussie dollar falls after the RBA rate cut. You see? RBA stands for the Reserve Bank of Australia. That is the Central Bank of Australia, right? And I told you before, by the time it comes out on Bloomberg, it is actually a bit too late. If you want to trade the currencies, you have to pay attention to forexfactory.com. That is the most important one, okay? So here tells you Aussie dollar falls after the rate cut. Okay? Australia cut interest rates by 25 basis points. Now, if you don't understand the meaning of the word basis points, write this down. 25 basis points means 0.25%. Right? So that you can understand it better. Number 2, government policies. Government policies can absolutely affect the currency market as well. There's so many government policies, right? When Russia takes over Crimea, there's so many. How do you know what policies will affect the currency market? Let's focus on one. You learned a lot yesterday about intervention theory, about FX waves. Let me share a little bit more. In intervention, these two countries are very important. Okay? Japan, what country is this, you know? Switzerland, very good. Now, also on Bloomberg, the yen drops versus the dollar and the euro after the Bank of Japan intervention. In case you forgot, let me repeat what happens to these countries. Japan and Switzerland. Okay? These countries are export-driven. Export-driven meaning to say, most of the economy is dependent upon them exporting their goods. Do you guys understand the word export? Yes? So in Japan, name me some of the biggest brands in Japan. What are some of the biggest brands? Toyota. Some more? Honda. Nike. Nike is from US, bro. Sorry? Mitsubishi. Sony. These are billion-dollar companies, right? Billion-dollar companies. Today, if you buy a Toyota car, all right, in Cambodia, they use more US dollars. But assuming if you use the real. In Cambodia, do you pay for the Japanese car in Japanese yen? No, right? You pay for it either in your local currency. Today, if I buy if I buy a Toyota car in Singapore, I pay for it in Singapore dollars. Japan has 2 financial years. They will repatriate. Repatriate means they will bring back the money at the end of October and at the end of March. Twice a year. So at the end of October, okay, and at the end of March, which is in fact now, as we think about it, all the money that Japan has. So Toyota, which has probably branches in maybe 100 countries, at the end of March, they pull back the money from all these countries. Okay? Think about this, huh? When they pull back money from Singapore, it is going to be dependent on the SGD JPY interest rate. Correct? If they pull back money from USA, it will affect or it will be dependent on the USD JPY interest rate. Now, Toyota wants the Japanese yen to be weak. Okay? Why? Because, I give you an example, okay? If the USD JPY is 105 or if it is 95, that means 1 US dollar equals 105 Japanese yen or 1 US dollar equals 95 Japanese yen. Which one would Toyota prefer? Very good. They prefer 105 because from USA, when they pull the money back to Japan, they will get more Japanese yen, correct?